Welcome back to Redbud in Buchanan, Michigan for the 2022 edition of the Monster Energy FIA Motocross Nations with me, Paul Malin, and Jason Thomas from Fly Racing. We've had two qualifying races in the book so far, the MXGP class and MX2. Before the gate drop, we'll give you the points classification as it stands. Obviously, 19 teams will qualify directly to the main events tomorrow, which means those who don't after this final race will be in a B final first thing in the morning. But the racetrack here, 1,900 meters long. It's a little bit firm underneath, but it's loamy and dirt and loam on top. And that's how long the racetrack looks on screen. But it's over a 2-minute lap time, 2:03, 2:04, 2:02, somewhere around there. But you see the MX Open riders making their way back from their sighting lap as they go back to the waiting zone, the skybox, if you like, as they prepare for this third and final qualifying race. The riders only got a free practice this morning, about 40 minutes, and then qualifying race this afternoon, and only qualifying in their groups. So it's not till tomorrow where we mix MXGP and MX2, MX2 and Open, and MXGP and MX Open at the end of the day. But we'll go down on the grid now. Lisa Leyland was down there a few moments ago. She caught up with the rider from the Netherlands, Calvin Valandren. And before that, one of the home heroes, Chase Sexton. He's riding 103 for Team USA.
We are almost ready for the final qualifying heat with the Open, guys. Let's speak to Team USA's Chase Sexton. Chase, your very first Motocross of Nations, and you're the host nation. It's a lot to take in, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot to take in, but I wouldn't want it any other way. This is what I trained for. So I'm just excited to go out there and get this first race out of the way. Practice was pretty good. Track is really in really good condition. So, yeah, just looking forward to going out there and getting a good start. And, yeah, rather like I know how to.
I mean, you said practice was really good. You were really fast out there. It's because you know this track really well. You're a local boy to here. You're looking good. Yeah,
I feel good. I normally learn tracks fairly fast. So, yeah, no, I felt good out there. The dirt's awesome. Couldn't be any better. And, yeah, I'm just excited to see where we stack up. But hopefully we're in a good spot for tomorrow.
Have a good race. Thanks, Chase. Let's speak to Team Netherlands, Calvin Valanderen. Calvin, sorry to bring it up, but I know the last time we were here, not the best memories for you, but I guess you have unfinished business coming into this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, last time I was here wasn't the greatest weekend for me, but I soon put that behind me, and I focused forward. And coming into this weekend, I haven't even thought about that. I'm here to do a job, and that's to do my best. And yeah, I'm feeling comfortable out there, and I'm enjoying it.
I mean, this Redbud track, obviously it's a sand track. Would you say it suits you guys, all sand riders? Could that benefit you?
I wouldn't say it's a really sand track. It's kind of a mix between sand and hard. For us, like for me personally, I struggled in practice to try and set up the bike because it's in between. It's not sand, it's not hard pack. So yeah, it's the same for all the teams and all the riders, and there's definitely some strong teams out there. So yeah, I think the best we can do is just focus on ourselves and try to do the best that we can, and hopefully come out on Sunday with a good result.
Have a good qualifying. Thanks, Calvin. Okay, good luck to all the guys. It's time for the Open qualifying session.
Well, Jason Thomas joins me from Fly Racing. And of course, before we prepare for gate drop number 3 here, it's worth pointing out, Jason, that the MXGP qualifying race, Belgium, Jago Keerts on the 450, won the qualifying race ahead of Eli Tomac, Jeremy Seawer, Mitch Evans, Jorge Prado, Glenn Koldenoff, with Max Renault, Dean Wilson, Tony Cairoli, and Dylan Wright. And then obviously in MX2, just a few moments ago, it was won by the American Justin Cooper, with Hunter Lawrence, Marvin Muscan, Guillaume Perez, Andrea Adamo, Simon Langenfelder, Liam Everts, Hardy Munoz, Kevin Horgmo, and Josh Varese, which means pretty much Team USA have qualified, I would say, in pole position.
Really strong showing so far, and that's really what you wanted. Just get off to a good start, build some confidence, build some momentum, so when these guys go to bed tonight, they're confident, they know what they accomplished on Saturday, and they can allow that to just build into Sunday. Instead of, you have a tough Saturday, you have to really talk yourself out of that and remember who you are, remember what you're capable of. They don't have any of those thoughts right now.
Just looking at the order then that the riders go to the grid. This was done from the ballot on Friday afternoon in the press conference, and of course, the Moroccans were pulled out of the bag first. So in this race, Humami Gabari will go to the line first for Morocco. He can pick any gate that he wants. Then we've got Kevin Brumman this time from Switzerland, Tom Massix from Latvia, Calvin Valanderen from the Netherlands. Estonia go to the line 5th, Italy 6th, Canada, Ecuador, Sweden, Israel. But let's look at the main countries that we're going to be looking out for here. let's say Switzerland, Kevin Brumman, the Netherlands, Calvin Verlander, and Estonia, Harry Kulas, Italy's Mattia Guadagnini, TDAG's Tyler Medaglia from Canada, and then we've got Freddie Noren of Sweden, Brent Horbeek in his last Motocross Nations for Belgium. Who else in there? Chase Sexton from the USA, Hakan Osterhagen running the 252 stroke, Fantic, and popping the Rocco's Leap, and the fans over there loving that, of course. Tommy Searle from Great Britain, Ruben Fernandez of Spain. Who else? Jet Lawrence, can't forget him, and obviously he was fastest in the free practice, 1:59.01, 3/10 quicker than Chase Sexton. Are you surprised by that?
Not so much. I know both of them are what I expect to be the class of this field. I think both of them have a little bit of a rivalry, too. They're on the same team here in the U.S., and Jet will be making the jump up to the 450 next year for Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. So there's a little bit of a race within a race. Yes, we're here for Motocross of Nations, but they're also thinking about next summer a little bit, too.
Mattia Guadagnini takes his position then behind the gate, Italy lining up in 6th place. Just give you the top 19 teams as we have them qualified at the moment, but that can change after this race, of course, because down there in 19th place, we are on a bit of a knife edge. The USA on 3, Australia on 6, Belgium 8, Spain 9, France 10, Italy 14, Germany on 18, and then we've got Norway on 20, Guam on 24, the Netherlands on 25, not helped by the fact that Kai de Wolf, who was in 5th, dropped to 19th, had a broken rear wheel on the final lap of the race. There is Chase Sexton. Behind the Netherlands, we've got Great Britain. Max Anstey having some problems on the final laps also as well. Canada in 12th, they're on 26. We've got Sweden on 27. South Africa 32, they are in 14th place. Latvia on 33. Finland 33. Switzerland 34. Valentin Guillot had a problem in the latter stages as well in that race. Chile on 34. Japan on 36. Ireland, the first of the non-qualifiers, with 40 at the moment, so they're 4 points adrift of the qualifying. Lithuania are on 41, Mexico 46. The tied with New Zealand also on 46. So a lot to play for those teams in the lower order. There's Tommy Searle from Great Britain, dragged him out of MX, World Championship retirement, let's say. What can we expect from him in this one?
Yeah, no, it's always curious. I was watching Chase Sexton and going through his pre-start routine. For the USA guys, for one, they're starting on a grade, which they don't do for motocross. They start on dirt. Supercross they do, but also they're used to having their mechanics up there. They're on their own for the first time, literally in their career sometimes. Every other race of the year, they have a mechanic there to help them go through this process. So there's a little bit of a learning curve here. And you always wonder this first start, can they get everything just right?
So Dylan Ferrandis lining up there as well for France. He'll be riding number 15. So their gate pick, number 30. So they're going to be, there he is. They're going to be more to the right-hand side as we look down the gate, the left-hand side. So not ideal. He'll be relying on maybe 1 or 2 riders around him that maybe not AMA regulars, not MXGP regulars that are here just for the experience, that he can get a good jump, get across them, and put that to his advantage.
Yeah, those first 5 feet are so critical for Ferrandis here. He needs to clear the riders around him and start to move to the right. If he can do that, he'll be just fine, as did Muscan in that MX2 qualifier.
And obviously, when I race the Nations, gate 1, first choice meant you had to go to gate 1 and all the way down. So when 94, for instance, gate 1 was gate 1 and 21.
You were assigned, correct, yeah. Right.
Fly Racing 15-second warm up for the final time today. Then the MX Open qualifying heat, 20 minutes plus 2, the same duration as the MXGP and MX2 qualifying races. Some of these teams are already qualified now based on their low scores that they have already, but some will still have some work to do. The gate drops, we're all over on the left-hand side. In orange, you've got Calvin Verlander, and he puts the squeeze on Guadagnini, number 3. And again, the Spaniards, this time Ruben Fernandez in the red and yellow emerging, but Ferrandis emerges in 2nd position, a flying start for the Frenchman.
Yeah, Ferrandis did exactly what we were talking about.
Visto there from Finland, and Jeremy Van Horbeek, the light blue of Belgium.
And they could have used a better score there, but Ferrandis, that was just a dream start. And we see the Italian rider go down there. I believe that was the Guadagnini.
Yeah, number 3.
Down. For Sexton here, this is exactly what he wanted. Yeah, sure, would you love a whole shot? Of course, but you can see the lead. You got out of that first corner clean. And for Guadagnini, that's a really tough break. I don't think they're going to have any issue qualifying with both Cairoli and Andre Adamo getting decent scores, but yeah, it's a really tough start.
Yeah, well, they're already on 8 as it stands without this result. So, but anyway, heading back uphill, Calvin Verlander leads it for the Netherlands. Dylan Ferrandis, France in 2nd place. It was Ruben Fernandez, but it's now Chase Sexton in 3rd position, moving past the Spaniard. for the USA. And then we've got Fernandez in fourth. Lorenzo Locurcio was up there as well, but we've got Jet Lawrence and Ruben Fernandez there going bar to bar. The 115 of the back of the shot there. Jet Lawrence upgrading to the 450 this weekend.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because I want to see how Chase approaches these first few laps. I think he's going to want to be patient, but if Jet pushes the pace and he sees Jet Lawrence put a wheel on him, that's going to change the entire dynamic, and I think you'll see that urgency pick up quickly.
I was talking to his dad yesterday. Marvin Muscan looking pretty happy and relaxed down there as Frentz in second at the moment. As Lawrence down the inside of Perez barges his way past the Spaniard. And what's that into fourth place? Fernandez, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think Ruben's going to take kindly to that. You see the retaliatory move there.
Yeah, and Jet's not used to that.
No, and that's not a rider you want to pick a fight with. That's a great way to break a rear wheel right there by Fernandez. But Fernandez is one of those riders that he is very likely to throw caution to the wind. So Jet doesn't really have any experience racing Ruben, maybe way back in the day in some sort of BMX series, but that's not the perfect rider. I think more than anything, I think Jet just wants to get to the front. You see him get aggressive there. And again, Ruben is just, he's aggressive. He is looking for a fight at all times.
El Toro, the red mist came down. He was like, dude, you're going to have to work harder than that if you're going to pass me. Yeah. So putting the Australian under pressure. And actually, Jet Lawrence could have done with clearing Fernandez at that point because he could have got on and tried to close down Sexton ahead of him.
And that's exactly on Jet's side. He just wants to get to the rear wheel, and you see more aggression. If you're coaching Jet here, you just say, listen, this isn't the guy you want to pick a fight with. Make a clean pass, make it stick, and go on.
Yeah.
Because you see Fernandez, he's ready for this. Absolutely. And this isn't Jet's style. Jet's not the one typically looking for aggression.
Nah.
But you wonder, this dynamic, this race, is it adding more pressure? Is it also his teammate Chase Sexton? He wants to go get up there and battle with him.
Well, Valandron leads. Fernandez is second, and Sexton right there in third on that red Honda. And this is the battle for the lead with the Dutchman, the rider from the Netherlands, Calvin Valandron, number 6, leading the way. Dylan Ferrandis, who's two-time Nations winner for France on the 2 appearances that he's made for him.
And Dylan wants to make a point, too. He had a really tough race at Budds Creek, had a run-in with Justin Barsham, was forced to exit the rest of the series that he had missed most of anyway. So for him, this is a really big race to get some sort of validation out of 2022. But Chase Sexton's trying to make quick work of him and might have this inside line.
Yeah, he does, and he controls it perfectly. But in fact, Ferrandis has to jump across the berm there into the outside line. So Sexton now up in a second position.
This is absolutely a home race for Chase Sexton. He grew up about 2 hours from here, so you know he's got all his friends, all his family, along with the rest of every USA fan.
And this was a line that he put to good use in July, but this time he makes it work once again, or does he? No, he doesn't. Valandron out-jumps him up over the Rocco's lead and maintains that lead at the moment. But for how much longer? Because Valandron, as we get a first official lap, the 207.1 for Valandron, 205.1, 2 seconds quicker, and that's passing Ferrandis on the way through into second place as well.
But I think Calvin was surprised. I think he thought he was going to look over and see, look at that move there. I think he thought he was going to see Dylan Ferrandis, but instead Chase Sexton had already made the move. And I will tell you what, if Chase Sexton has a clean 2 laps, he is gone. He is going to put in hero laps here. He did this repeatedly throughout Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. When he gets to the lead, he is great at setting an unbeatable pace. And you see the urgency in Ferrandis. He knows what Chase Sexton's going to try to do here.
Yeah, Ferrandis just timed that one right down the inside of Valandron, and he wants to go with Sexton, no doubt about that. But obviously, we've still got 15 minutes plus 2 to go. It's a long lap here, 2:05, 2:07, depending on who you are, Sexton or Ferrandis. This is how we did it. Watch this. So watch Ferrandis here. He tries to get across the inside. He has no choice but to get over the berm there as Sexton takes over second place. And then a moment ago, we just saw him find his way past Valandron, who thought he'd covered the inside, but hadn't counted for such a wide sweep, and then cut tight to the inside from Sexton as he took over the lead.
Well, it's interesting to see these little subtleties. Like I made mention that Sexton is going to try to disappear quickly, and Ferrandis knows that. Ferrandis has a lot of racecraft. He understands Sexton's MO and what he wants to try to accomplish. So he's trying to match that lap time just to latch onto the back of him.
The rider walking through the middle of the infield there in orange, Glenn Koldenhoff. He was the rider from the Netherlands in the MXGP class earlier on, so just having as much time out on the track as he can get. But Jet Lawrence trying to find his way around the outside of Ruben Fernandez, still parked behind there. This time he gets good drive and gets on the wheel early and makes the move stick. So Lawrence now up into 4th. Jet Lawrence, that is.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit of inexperience. And I hate to say that for a 2-time Lucas Oil Pro Motocross champion, but he's still young, right? This is his first 450 race ever. I think had he made a less aggressive pass on Fernandez, he would have gone with Sexton. He would have been able to get by and move forward. Now he finds himself 5 seconds off the lead.
Bonjour, Dylan Ferrandis closing in on Chase Sexton. And earlier this year, of course, he was battling with Ferrandis' teammate, Eli Tomac. Probably not counted this one in the books at the moment with the Frenchman, and probably won't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, and Ferrandis really wants to get back to his 2021 form that saw him win the Super Motocross Championship. And the races he came back for, he was only able to race 2 events. It wasn't exactly what he was looking for. He was running around the top 5, faded back a little bit. This could be, one positive Motocross of Nations event could really change the entire feel of 2022 and really put him on the right foot for 2023.
Yeah. And Dylan Ferrandis, he won't care that it's a qualifying race. We've seen some riders, let's say in the MXGP category, settle for that, and also in MX2, get to a decent position knowing it's going to be enough. Ferrandis is not going to do that. He's going to want to come out all guns blazing, and he's going to want to take the challenge, because so far no one has taken it to the Americans. Tomac obviously, as you said, blew through the pack, and obviously came up stuck behind Seaver until he made his mistake, but he was pretty quick in that race. But Chase Sexton here, he'll want to try and do what Justin Cooper did and escape. But as long as you've got Ferrandis there hanging off of his rear, his tailpipe, and making it difficult, that element for making a mistake is always there, and the pressure is always there.
Well, and think about how fresh Ferrandis is. He's only raced 3 motos since March, right? So these other guys have gone through so many races all over the country, and most of these guys all over the world. Ferrandis has been sitting on the sidelines and watching, so he has a lot of pent-up energy to expend.
Right, Jet Lawrence closing in on Calvin Verlander, and this is for 3rd position, but a lap ago, this was him going around the outside of Ruben Fernandez to move into that 4th place.
See, Fernandez is going to make a little mistake on the inside, pushes the berm a little deep, and loses all his momentum, and Jet makes an easy pass around the outside.
Didn't need to bang bars with him in the next turn, but he's closed right in on Verlander. Such a smooth, tidy rider, calculated rider, Jet Lawrence. Seen that all season long. The odd mistake here and there, and obviously the odd DNF because of no fault of his own. But obviously the unknown, one of the unknowns coming into this particular Motocross of Nations, because of the fact that he's riding a 250, now upgraded to the 450, and people thinking, wise move or not? But you'd rather have both the Lawrence brothers out there, in such good form.
Well, and I think he accomplished the goal, right? He went back-to-back Lucas Oil Motocross titles, and he's such a calculated rider. To me, he has the perfect 450 riding style, a la Ken Roczen, where low RPM, there's a thinking man's rider that makes smart decisions, and I think he's going to be fantastic once he gets used to this bigger bike.
We just saw the leaders go through there, Sexton and Ferrandis. That gap now 2.1 seconds, as Sexton just set the fastest lap of the race, 2:03.4 compared to a 2:04.8, so 1.4 second gain that time round by Sexton over Ferrandis. And Lawrence now coming up, coming sort of stuck back onto that brick wall, if you like, with Verlander, and just closing him down in that 3rd place. He had it for a couple of laps behind Fernandez. He's now got the same problem with Calvin Verlander.
Yeah, and I would expect a quick move here. I think once they go through Talladega, he's going to try to get aggressive here. I don't think he's going to want to spend a ton of time behind Calvin. I think it may be, a little bit too much to ask to close down 7 seconds back up to the likes of Sexton and Ferrandis, but I think he's going to be able to make a quick pass.
Well, with 10 minutes to go, as we focus on this battle for 3rd place, Verlander of the Netherlands and Lawrence of Australia in 4th, who gets himself on the left-hand side and makes the pass and makes it stick as well. So Lawrence now up in the 3rd place. USA on 2 points, actually, because obviously a win from Sexton, if he stays there, he's leading the race at the moment. A win from Cooper, that is the maximum possible score. So they're on 2, France on 5, Australia on 6, but they also now jump down to 5 because of that pass that Lawrence has put on Verlander.
And I was watching some of Jet's lines. It's typical of him to be an innovator with the track. He went from the inside to the outside in those sand rollers. It's really no one else is doing that, and he's kind of doubling through them, which isn't really the fastest, but it's just so smooth, and how Jet can utilize the power of 450, and I think we're going to see more of that as he transitions into this class.
So Dylan Ferrandis has got that gap down to 1.3, so all of a sudden responding, does not want to let Sexton out of his sights.
Yeah, this is an impressive kind of answer by Ferrandis. Sexton made quick work. It looked like he was going to try to check out, and Ferrandis said, not so fast. And I think he's just kind of watching Sexton and doing what he's doing, which is typical for Ferrandis. He's very, very smart on the motorcycle, and I think he's just trying to learn the pace of Sexton.
Yeah, we'll see on the sectors who's doing what, because 14-9, so pretty much identical in Sector 1, same in Sector 2 this time around. But Dylan Ferrandis, another rider, the Frenchman, very, very cute with his lines, you know, same as Marvin Musquin, as we've seen in the past. You know, there aren't too many riders that can read a racetrack like those guys.
So it'll be interesting to see when Jason Wygant, you know, the announcer for Motocross, going to turn the danger zone for Ferrandis, and he would wait. He would sit right back here just like he's doing and wait and wait and wait. And then when he found his moment with a couple minutes to go, he would make a move. So I don't know if we're going to see that. He's had a lot of time off, so I don't know if he's in that same fitness zone that he was in. But this is typical Ferrandis, where he'll wait, find a weakness, find a line he can exploit, and absolutely make that strike move towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I think Ferrandis' intention here is just to push him into try and make the mistake to make his own pass for the lead.
He is absolutely flying through that inside line there, riding through some of those rollers. So he's picked up the pace here. This is a much better pace than I saw just a few short weeks ago when he was at, he had come back for Budds Creek.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Australia at the moment. They're on 5 points, so are France. But it will go on the second result, because obviously you throw away your worst score, and it might be because of the worst score that you've thrown away as well, because Australia throwing away a fourth, but they have a 2-3. And then France with a 3-2, throwing away a seventh. So I think it's the score that you throw away worse just looking at that. So that could be a crucial factor if we finish on a tie at the end of tomorrow afternoon, Sunday, after 3 races.
Yeah, there's so much math that needs to be done on Sunday afternoon, and for now, none of those, they're not thinking about any of that. Ferrandis, to me, wants to win this race for himself. This is about going out and beating Chase Sexton, who was in the title fight. And remember, Ferrandis had to hand over that #1 plate that he had won in 2021. So yes, it's Motocross of Nations, but there's a lot more going on. There's a race within a race for 450 domination, because again, these guys will face each other next summer for the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship again.
Ferrandis didn't race here in the summer, did he?
He missed most of the season, came back for Unadilla.
Front end was a bit high there at the top of the hill for Ferrandis.
Got a 410 at Unadilla, and then we expected him to continually improve and crescendo at this event. Gets into a run-in with Justin Barcia, but Tregan had to sit out the rest of the season.
But he has just set the fastest lap of the race a few corners ago, Dylan Ferrandis, by only 1/10. But, you know, it's that mental game again, a 2:03.4 compared to a 2:03.5 when you look at the lap chart. And Lawrence keeping a similar pace, 2:03.6. He's there in third, but those laps parked behind Valandrin and Fernandez before that means the gap between him in third and Ferrandis in second is about 9.4 seconds as it stands right now.
But I kind of wondered, what would the time off, because he was forced to take more time off after Budds Creek after sitting out all the season. I wondered what that would do. Would that help him? Would it allow him more time to practice, to prepare, or would he actually revert back and be worse than I saw him? This is much better. He looks more aggressive. He looks more confident. And this is doing a lot for him mentally, in my opinion, because I think he had to ask questions of himself when he'd be able to go Sexton's pace. He really hadn't seen much racing action, and this is proving it. I think we're going to see a really strong Team France because of Dylan Ferrandis tomorrow.
And he is pushing, but again, a fastest lap. I was saying, thinking, just as he came through that final couple of corners, the body language, and he's less than a second now between him and Sexton, with another fastest lap of the race for the Frenchman. But Valandrin here now in fourth with Fernandez behind him. Let's check out their lap times this time around.
And they were 3 full seconds quicker than Jet Lawrence. So that just speaks to the pace. I think Jet is kind of settled in. He's going to take a third and move on to Sunday. These two are in a race for this win. They absolutely want it. To drop into the 202s, remember they were doing 204s just a few laps ago. That speaks to the intensity that they're ramping into.
Yeah. And I was talking to Dazzy as well, you know, Darren Lawrence, the old man there for the Lawrence boys. Speaking to him yesterday at length, and for Jet coming into this race, it was more a case of, look, dude, if you're riding within yourself, stick with that pace. If you're riding arms and legs and all the rest of it, making mistakes, you need to back it off, because, you know, next year is also so important for him.
Yeah, well, I think you saw that. That's the way he was riding with Fernandez. And if they had communications in helmet, somebody would tell him to calm down, right? It's just Saturday. You don't need this spot. Just relax. And typically that's when Jet rides his best anyway. When he's smooth, calm, and calculated, you see the best Jet Lawrence anyway.
Well, the fans getting a treat here with this final race of the day, the open qualifying race here at the Motocross of Nations, the Monster Energy FIA Motocross of Nations, with Chase Sexton leading Dylan Ferrandis by about a second at the moment. This is the battle for the lead. Coming up on the back markers as well, just the other side of the Monster Energy jump. Might be one of the Icelandic riders there just going through. pretty much even Steven through the waves, but then a little bit too quick into that turn for Dylan Ferrandis.
Well, and Chase, this is a lot more pressure than Chase would like. He's having to push the pace much more than I think he believed he would. When he got to the front so quickly, I think he was.
Oh, he doesn't get over the triple.
Get over the leap there. That's going to open the door for Ferrandis. He's able to block the inside, but now he's under pressure. This is that danger zone. I hate the phrase, but Jason Wygant came up with it, and we're going to use it. This is exactly where Ferrandis wants to be. 3 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
I'm impressed with this ride from Ferrandis, though. He hasn't backed off, but then that big mistake there. The back end came around on him, pushing hard, harder than he needs to for a heat race. But you know what? He's a racer, and you know that French kind of fire that burns within. You know, the red mist came down, and he was just going for broke there. He's going to have to do all that work again. He got Sexton on the ropes because of that mistake the American made going up over Larocco's leap. Couldn't get the triple done.
And with 3 minutes plus 2 laps to go here, will Ferrandis get back on the edge? Will he push it back to the limit to close it down, or we say, okay, a little bit of a reality check?
Yeah, watch this here. Just pushing in, and then watch the back end comes out now. Just too high. Also shows how hard packed the ground is at that point there as well.
Yeah, and a little bit, I think that's part of the scoop tire.
And that was Sexton not getting over Larocco's leap, and Ferrandis. See the difference in time that you can make up 5 bike lengths, maybe?
Yeah, and to me, some of that is that scoop tire. When you get really aggressive and it steps out, it can step out really quickly. But I see Ferrandis still in the background, so he's refound his pace, refound his rhythm, and it looks like he's going to make another charge up to Sexton.
Back marker forces Sexton wide. Wow. So the 106 there, just Jorge Israel Rubalcaba from Mexico, getting in the way of the leaders there. Fortunately for her, Sexton, Ferrandis wasn't that close, but he is again now.
Well, I can tell you, if we didn't have a border controversy before, we do now. That was a really sketchy move. You can't push the leader off the track. You have to be aware. It's part of racing. We all understand that, but you hate to see a race change because of a back marker.
But also, that's the nature of the nations as well, isn't it? Every nation is eligible to race, but there is a massive void between them at the top and those down below.
Especially on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
We don't even know if most of these riders won't even be in there for the back markers. So Sexton recovered, though.
Yeah. Again, 133 has to move out of the way. He doesn't know whether to keep left or right. And Ferrandis, oh, he's got his leg caught in the rear wheel. His left leg is in the rear wheel. Ferrandis, how has he done that?
He had to have stepped out, rear tire step out, catches your rear tire and rolls it up into the in between. I've had it happen to me before. It happened to me at Budds Creek before. You see Ferrandis back up to speed, but that is not a lot of fun.
No, and has that allowed Lawrence? No, because it was about 15, 16 seconds down. But, well, that's it. That's going to gift it to Sexton. But lost it. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's 8 seconds or 18 seconds. It's cost him the shot of going for the win in this race. And just sort of unnerving the Americans, let's say, because of their dominance so far.
I've only had one time in my life, and the rear steps out, you get completely sideways, you bring your foot off basically to anchor, and it gets caught up in the rear tire and dragged into that gap between the fender and the rear wheel, and I came to a complete stop. Luckily for Ferrandis, he was able to keep going, but tense moments here for Team France.
Yeah, and obviously back markers just getting in the way again. But Ferrandis comes through, so that one was Noel Zanox of, well, he's riding for the FIM Europe team, I think, Noel Zanox. But Ferrandis, there was a moment, there was the 133, Ilay Ben Dahan of Israel that was in the racing line as Sexton came through in the final turn, and Ferrandis, and if we do have a replay of that from the other side, we have something from the drone. Watch this here. So Ferrandis now, all by himself. Oh, he touched the bank and then he cut back. So rider error, just arguing with the bank there.
He probably couldn't believe what was happening. That is such a freak accident. That never happened.
Never.
I'm sure that's probably never happened to him. And on this stage to happen in the middle of a race, at least it's Saturday, but I bet he can't. He'll be talking about that for months, how that happened.
So 2 to go as Sexton hits the line this time around at the end of lap 9. And he has a clear track ahead of him around about 9 seconds now. Ferrandis about 8-9 seconds clear of Jet Lawrence, with Fernandez 4th, Valandron there in 5th place. But let me just give you the, so as it stands right now, then USA will top the qualifying with a win from Justin Cooper, and a win here from the 103. Oh, Fernandez down in 29th place, and Spain obviously slipping down the leaderboard. In fact, no, they'll be right. So anyway, USA on 2, Australia on 5, France 5, Spain on 8. Or they were on 8. Oh yeah, that's different Fernandez, that's right.
Yeah, so Ruben's still in 4th.
So Ruben Fernandez, back end, just kicking out. He's a rider that's just had a tough few rounds in MXGP. Needed these couple of weeks off just to regroup and sort of re-heal, if you like. And when I spoke to him yesterday, it seemed like it was a chance that, get free practice, get this qualifying race out of the way, might just settle the nerves. But nothing prepares you for a Motocross of Nations, when the gate drops for real on Sunday. Again, back markers, what are you doing? 93, Umami Gabari from Morocco, first gate pick, but right the way down in 32nd, and he's been out of the race, actually. He's gone back out on the track because he only did 2 laps, so I think he's on his sighting lap back to the finish line.
This is a great feeling for Shea Sexton. He can hear that crowd going crazy as he comes through the Sand Rollers. Home race for him, and what a great way to start it off. No matter what happens from here, it's at least Saturday. You had a great day. And I've said this a few times, but it's such a confidence-building day for this team. They haven't won since 2011, right? So they're almost waiting for the other shoe to drop, something bad to happen. At least they're off to a good start.
Brandis, though, lucky that when he did wrap his leg around that rear wheel, he actually fell there in 2018 through that turn. But lucky that it wasn't something that kind of caused an ankle or a knee injury, because once that's in the rear wheel, all kinds of twisting can happen. So lucky to be in the race. And Sexton just backing it off, look, going into the final lap, 2:08.2. Ferrandis, 2:04.7, the gap 5.5. I can't imagine Sexton throwing it away from here, but if he does switch off, you just never know.
Yeah, I'm sure he backed it off a little bit, knowing the last time he saw 8.8 to go to 5.4, he's like, okay, I can't let off much. But he's also trying to be careful. He's had some last lap incidents this summer. He crashed out of the lead in Lucas Oil for Motocross, so I'm sure that's in the back of his mind too.
So Jet Lawrence there in 3rd, and the Australian riding a 450, racing a 450 for the first time. I think just controlling that 3rd place. Will there be more in the tank for the young Australian tomorrow? They go to the line 2nd as it stands right now, having thrown away the 4th place finish of Mitch Evans. And Sexton throws it away, and there's Ferrandis goes through. Well, we said, can't see that happening. And what did he have in the back of his mind that maybe he didn't want to happen again, Jason?
Yeah. This is multiple times
Frenchman,
this season.
Darth Vader.
Yeah. Multiple times this season that he's crashed on the last lap. I think he gets inside his own head. He starts thinking too much. I can't make a mistake. And a lot of times when you slow down is when you make the mistake. You get out of the rhythm. You hit bumps at different angles, and you're going through the ruts at different speed, and you make a critical mistake. So in the end, is it going to change anything? No. Team USA will still qualify 1, but I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself.
And it's going to be 3 points, not 2 points for Team USA. France will gain 1, and they will go to line 2nd ahead of Australia. That's where that makes a difference, because they're tied on 5 at the moment. So Ferrandis then, just the long turn up over Larocco's lead, coming up any moment now. He just needs to be clean over there, and he is. Nicely done. And 2 corners, 1 corner to go. And Dylan Ferrandis, well, never saw that one coming in race 1 as he wins the race here. Dylan Ferrandis, he did to Sexton what Tomac did to Siwa in the first MXGP race, that last lap pass. But this one was for the win. And Ferrandis and France pick up 1 point. They will qualify 2nd. So it'll be 3